All right, we're back with the program. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. I have a sensational guest coming on right now. Just truly appreciate her taking the time to speak to me. Although my idiot self goes ahead on my scheduler and posts her. Well, I guess I must have been so excited to have her on because I not only had her listed on once, but twice, 2 days in a row. So I call her, I go ahead and I send her a message. Hey, are we ready to come on the air? Gerald, that's tomorrow. I'm actually on a Netflix show right now. I'm on the set. I'm doing it. I'm like, oh my God, what an idiot, Gerald. So I'll tell you what, she's here now. I'm just so grateful to have her on. I cannot thank her enough for her patience. But yes, if you go ahead to IMDb, you can find out what she's working on, which is the Halston show, the Halston miniseries that she's actually working on Netflix. So I'm looking forward to our conversation today. It is Shannan Wilson. And Shannan, just appreciate you having you on the program today. And again, I'm so sorry.
First of all, I don't think I said it that way. You made me sound so snobby.
No.
I'm on Netflix.
No, you were good. You're good. You're all good. You said it's actually on email and it's actually very polite.
Yeah. And I feel like I still think it could have been my fault. So let's just say it's both of us that totally messed up.
Fair enough indeed. But it is great to have you on. I always like to poke fun at myself, so it's always
me too. I know.
But it is something that's. Just tell you what, it just goes into what you're that we're talking about all the time on the show, and that is the impact of the streaming industry, even in the face of the current pandemic that we're in. And we truly want to go ahead and send our best to everyone that's suffering through this time and all that. But I've spoken to individual directors, actors over the course of the past few months about the constant struggle that is the entertainment industry right now in the midst of this pandemic. But how grateful are you at this point in time to have a project to work on, because so much of the industry right now is under siege because of, you can't put it out on theaters because it won't make any money. Everything is being canceled left and right or being postponed due to the virus. How grateful are you to be working on a project right now for Netflix?
Oh, I'm beyond grateful. Everybody's so grateful. There's so many people out there that, like you said, aren't able to work, musicians that aren't able to tour. And just to have something on the books, it's a relief. And selfishly also, we need content. We need to have things to watch. People need escapism. Look how many people went to the movies during the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we need that right now. And content wasn't able to be produced since March. So I think it's just going to be great for everybody. But I am very grateful. Yeah.
And these streaming outlets such as Netflix, Disney Plus, Hulu, I mean, you name it right now, because right now it's a ton of streaming outlets right now, all vying for this new content because they need new content for all their subscribers. I mean, so there's going to be a constant demand as soon as things get a little bit better, because I know we're still going through a rough patch right now, but I know going forward that the industry at some time will catch up. Are you excited for that period of time? Are you hopeful that will happen?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a renaissance. I think all of the writers and the creators and just everyone's been locked up like we all have, and there's just going to be this surge of creative energy. So the writing's going to be phenomenal. I think it's just going to be fantastic in the end when we get through all of it. And right now it's just a test. I mean, I was tested for COVID 3 times on what is today?
Today, Wednesday, as we're taping this, yes.
Yeah, I'm so confused. So Monday I went up for a fitting and I was tested 3 times. And then yesterday I was tested again for rapid tests. So, I mean, to be on set, they have everything divided up into different zones, red zone, green zone, different zones. And depending upon your zone, you get tested. So every day, you kind of go onto set and just hope that you're negative.
Yes.
We're all trying to be as safe as we can.
Yeah.
But it's kind of a test to see if we can do this. And so far we've been able to. I was on another shoot a couple of weeks ago for a feature shooting in Philadelphia, and it was the same thing, just very safe. There's no craft services though.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bummer.
That is kind of a bummer, and that's something I want to ask you as well. With on the set, I know a lot of individual productions have hired health workers or people within the health industry to go ahead and oversee how they're laying out these protections. Is that the case in the productions that you've been working on?
Yeah, I'm in Screen Actors Guild, so you're really protected with SAG. And I mean, I don't even know. It seems like there were 20 COVID reps yesterday on set. They're everywhere. They have little red jackets on, and people show up they show up out of nowhere. You have your own personal person with a plastic bag with a face shield, and they even sewed silk into the face mask. They sewed silk around it so that it wouldn't mess up your makeup. So, I mean, those go on as soon as you're done shooting. If you're standing there waiting for them to adjust camera and lights, they're there with the bag, you put that back on. And so, I mean, it's very, very safe. It's very different because we're all very social. We all want to talk and catch up, and it's hard to talk through the mask and the face shield. But we'll do whatever it takes to get back to work.
And I don't blame you a bit. And as someone who watches quite a bit of Netflix and all the other streaming outlets out there, we thank you for going ahead and taking that extra steps to go ahead and not only protect yourself and others, but going ahead and working under these circumstances. I had to chuckle though at the red jacket line. It's so funny because you're talking about, it's like, oh yeah, I know who that is. I know who that is. Yeah, they're all running around, but that's a good thing for the production.
They're like construction workers, with vests, but it's red. So you see them everywhere. And then what was funny, because they're like, and action. Hold on. People are wearing their masks, like the background actors still have their masks on.
Yes.
Or whomever else who would be like, oh shit, oh yeah, and then they'd be like, cut, so-and-so's got their mask on, you're just, oh, it's crazy.
It is crazy indeed. But like I said, I'm just so thankful that you are able to go ahead and work, because again, earlier in this pandemic, I was able to talk to actresses and actors and also directors who can't work on their projects because they can't finish out what they could because okay, everything has been put on hold. But as things are slowly starting to, rolled out per se, it's a good sign that the industry can start going ahead and doing some projects. But what level of concern did you have when you step on there every day? What's your level of concern? Do you try to put it out of your mind as an actor or actress? Because it has to be somewhere right there in the back of your mind.
Yeah, I mean, I was just so excited to go back to work. So I just try to, they test you, and then I just try to forget about it, like that this is just part of our new reality, and not, really complain about it. I think we're complaining about a lot less than what we were before, because we're just happy to be alive and healthy, and knock on wood. But I feel bad for you mentioned all the other productions that haven't been able to. I'm booked on an independent film, and they had to pause. Actually, 2 projects that were independent, they've had to pause production. We're going to shoot a few days in December, but it's so expensive.
Yeah. For
them to have the COVID reps there, and to run rapid tests on a daily basis, I can't even imagine what that must cost. So I'm fortunate enough to be on a higher budget production right now, but my other little productions that I love being a part of are kind of halted right now. So they're just trying to navigate their way into how they can make their budgets work.
Because like you said, it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all to do this. Like you said, with all those people running on the red jackets, that's dollars right there for you.
Yeah.
Plus also like you said, the rapid tests, they don't come at a bargain price either by the bulk. It's not like you can go get out like, oh, let's go to Costco and just go ahead and buy them by the bulk right there for you. No, it doesn't work like that. So.
And the space for all the people to be in different buildings. And, when you're on an independent film, you're literally all right there together. You're working together. You're all in it for the same cause, but you can't be in small spaces.
Exactly, indeed. But I'll tell you what, Shannan, it's, there's so much of your career right now, especially right now in the past couple of years, you've worked on over 10, or actually you've worked on or are working on about 10 projects. At the very least, in the past couple of years, been very active. How good a feeling is that, as far as to be someone that people want to go ahead and call up for your projects time and time again? Since I've not even included the 2016 appearance that you had in one of my favorite shows all time, Elementary. But I could talk all day about that, and that's it's already an hour. So, yeah, it's a great show. I love that show. I'm so sorry it's gone, but I'm glad that it was 7 years of it. But I want to ask you this. Like I said, you're right now, you could say you're prolific actress because you've got, like I said, 10 projects that you either are or have worked on. How good a feeling is it to keep on getting those projects time in, time out?
It's a lot of hard work to get to those projects. But it feels great. It really does. But you never know. I was talking to someone yesterday on set who's a very established actor and has been around for 30 something years. And I was telling him, I said, I'm so happy to have something on the, like I was saying to you earlier, on the books right now with all of this going on. And I said, I'm sure you don't really have to worry anymore. And he's like, what? He said, I'm always wondering about my next project. So even though you can say I have 10 recently, I don't know what my next job is. I mean, I have some things lined up that are on hold, but you're always waiting for your next audition or your next opportunity.
Okay, I can just say this as someone who worked very briefly in the industry for a special effects company in Hollywood and was looking out every day at Paramount, but also someone who's been an observer. I've seen people that have had those streaks where they're on project after project after project, and then for whatever reason, controversial or not controversial, they just fall off a cliff. Their career just falls off a cliff. So you, like you said, if you're always wary of what's going on and you just, you have that vision, the fact that, what, I'm not going to get too complacent in what I'm doing. I'm always going to be grateful for what I have. Yeah. That to me, I think is the best way to look at it, because you know better than I do about the movie industry, the Hollywood industry, the entertainment industry, and how great it can be, but also the other side as well.
But what I would say to anybody who's starting out, and I didn't start doing this until I was older, so anybody can do it anytime if they put their mind to it. It just takes work. Just be kind to people. If you go on set I did jobs where I wasn't paid. When Father Went Biking, that's a film. I wasn't even paid for that, but it was selected for a lot of film festivals. So don't get snobby or think you're better than anything else. And just each time you're on set, just be nice. Casting directors, even if you do the worst audition ever, which I have done bad auditions, just walk out of the room with your head held high. They can see how you can handle a situation, and don't make excuses. It's these little things that can really make a difference and help you continue to work, right?
Yes, that's a great. Yeah, exactly. So if you're not someone that people will regret going ahead and bringing on, if someone looks at you and your name and says, "Oh, Shannan, yeah, bring her on. She's good. She worked on me for this project. Worked on me for that project. Yeah, she's good. Get her on the set and whatnot." Yeah, that's a great way to go. That's a great attitude to have. And I'll tell you what, your career right now is really, really starting to take off, because look, you've got right there, if you look on IMDb, you've got, for instance, this year alone, Snow Babies and The Retaliators. You've had last year with Wounded Deer and When Father Went Biking, like you said. And of course, what's coming up for Halston and in pre-production right now, Finding Christmas. It just shows you that it sounds like you've been a very good person to go ahead and work with, because you've got a lot lined up now, recently, and going forward as well. So I just cannot congratulate you enough on your success.
Thank you.
So it must feel good. It's got to feel good to have projects.
Well, I've got to say, my manager, Georgianne at CPM Talent, and I have an agent, Kat at PB Talent in Houston, and Luann and Charlotte at Monarch. They all push for me. So it's not just like I suddenly just randomly got these jobs. They pitched me, they've supported me, and gotten me in the doors on auditions. And many of them the amount of jobs I don't get is just staggering. Like you audition for so many things. Every time I watch TV, I'm like, oh, I read for that role. Oh, I read for that role. And then you see the actor that got it, and it makes perfect sense. But it's the opportunities that I'm always grateful for. Just like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm trying out for this part. So you just have to have a really positive attitude, but you do get down sometimes. It's definitely a hard industry.
Yeah, like I said, I had a small taste of it, and I can see from what happens when you don't have the projects, like special effects companies. If you don't have those projects line up, you see what happens. And I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. And looks like though all those unsuccessful auditions are starting to turn around in your favor, and you're getting lined up more and more projects. And I'll tell you what, Shannan, before we head on out, I got to go ahead and hear anything you want to go ahead and publicize, anything you want to go ahead and give a shout out, because you're, like I said, you're really on the go. You're really going up there. You're really starting to get some good projects out there. And I'm just thankful for your success. And again, before we head on out, do you want to go ahead and plug anything out there? Do you got anything to go ahead and talk about to the folks out there?
No, I mean, you can Google me, Shannan, Shannan Wilson. And then I have different songs on Spotify you could check out that are always fun. I have a little fan base. And then I have a book that I wrote for NICU babies, for preemies, called The Littlest Peanut. So that's very helpful for parents that have premature babies. And we try to donate and give books back to the NICUs and to parents of preemies. So I've been fortunate enough to have interesting things go on in my life. So I'm just grateful and just hope that we can all just get through all that we've been going through with COVID and everything else. And I'm very positive about 2021.
Well, I am as well, and as a husband to a fantastic wife who is a NICU nurse.
Your wife's a NICU nurse?
Yes, she is at UMC. I don't want to publicize too much in Las Vegas, but yes, she is one of the hardworking men and women for NICU at UMC here in Las Vegas. She sees the tiniest of the tiniest. When she can equate a birth in grams, yeah, that tells you something right there. But
well, she's an angel. I tell her, message me privately, and I will send her a case of my books that she can pass out for Christmas to the parents. Both my kids are premature. So please just send me your address and I'll send her a case of books to give to the parents.
Absolutely. And as someone who also has a daughter that was born premature, I understand completely. But yes, she's been a NICU nurse since 2006 or 7, I want to say. So yeah, she's been doing it for a while, and she sees the great things that happen when you go ahead and you release someone, as far as that's been there for weeks and weeks
80
and
days.
weeks, and the great feeling you have that when they go home with their family and whatnot, and you've done a great job. And unfortunately, there's the other side too, when they're not really able to go ahead and continue on with life because there's just not enough there to hold on to. But right. It's a weighing of emotions, especially with the families that you have to interact with on a daily basis. And yes, like you said, it's just something out there very under the radar, but they're out there. So big shout out to NICU nurses and doctors that are out there. So yes,
and veterans.
Yes, and veterans too.
Happy Veterans Day.
Yes, recording this on Veterans Day, so we do absolutely honor the troops out there that have fought so hard for our country and live and die for our country. So we truly appreciate it. But Shannan, it's been incredible having you on. I'd love to get you back on again down the road, telling us about more great projects that I hopefully will not disturb you on.
So you can disturb me on any day. That's fine.
Okay. Well, I'll try to avoid it anyway. It's like right in the middle of a big scene, your phone goes off and there's an email from me. Hey, Shannan, ready to go? I'll be like, oh gosh. That's okay. My wife does it too, so that's okay.
No, it's fine. It's a lot of sitting around on a set, so you were fine.
Okay, fair enough indeed. But it is Shannan Wilson. Please check out all the great things that she's doing, not only as an actress, songwriter, also as well as an author. Check out all the great things that she's doing. Let's go ahead and either start off on Google or imdb.com. Well, Shannan, it's been great having you on the show. I cannot thank you enough for being part of it. Just truly, hopefully, we'll get you back onto the show right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos.
Yes.